Good afternoon, it's Wednesday the 29th of January. Today I'm going to be drilling my holes into the stools. So I have this jig here, which I've got the holes which are centered there on that side because I have the join. I've moved the hole a bit further that way. So I've got this I can use for that side and then for the other side. So help me position the drill holes. So the previous plan was to have a metal rod in the stool, going right just up to the centre, and that's the size of it. So it's 3.5 inches embedded into the stool. With the change in design, I've got a hole here instead and a hole here instead. I'm going to fill that up, and I'm going to have rods going up these two holes instead. So that's the plan. The next task is to do some drilling. Holes are drilled, 3.5 inches depth. Started out at 3mm drill bit and went up to the full size of 14mm, and that's going to hold a 12mm anchor which I'll fix with resin. Started with from 6 to 14mm drill bits and then clean the hole with that. It's fairly on centre, I think. Yeah, actually it's spot on actually. Yeah, spot on. Thought it'd be a bit more out than that because on the first drill the drill tended to move around a bit and I thought it would be off centre, but then I did go back and I marked the actual circle of the holes. So yeah, it's the first time it's worked out perfect. So for these holes I'm going to fill them. The seals themselves I made myself, so it's quite straightforward. I just use the sand cement mix for that. For drilling the holes, I'm starting out at 6mm, working up to 14mm for an anchor which is 12mm, and I'm fixing that with resin. Additionally to that, I use this to blow out the dust, and I got a vacuum cleaner on hand as well. one small job done. It was just the same mix as what I used in the sills, so that was a mixture of sand, cement, white sand, white cement, white pigment as well, and an acrylic polymer, which I was using with the sills, as they contain glass fibres and also glass bubbles as well. But that's an explanation for another time. The next task is to do some test drill holes through the blocks for these two holes here. Now the full size of the blocks I'm going all the way through, so that's quite a distance. So the plan is to use a smaller block here, do kind of a pilot hole, so it should be easier to get a straight drill through here, and then this forms kind of a pilot hole for the rest of the hole through the full length. So as long as I get this as straight as possible, it should guide the drill bit into the rest of the mullions. So that's the plan with this. So I did mark the other side, where for the full 14mm, can't see any there, so it's right in the centre, and if that one's off a bit, way off. Okay. So they are the holes marked on the drill side. So that one I managed to get right in the centre. That was a little bit off, if that is correct. I aligned it with that corner thing. That's a bit better. So the result of just allowing gravity to drill that through to the other side is this, which, if I've got that the right way, look, that side, line that up, so that's how it came out the other side. So it's way off. I seem to have found a way. I actually drilled through the holes with this in place, and it just, having a bit of a boundary, kept the drill bit on track. So I might do print out another one of these, so I've got a bit of a depth, and then I can use that to then drill a straight hole into this kind of pilot thing here, and then use that to then drill the longer bits. So I got this on a level surface, and it's just slight misalignment there. It's about 2 millimeters at the bottom. Over 3.5 inches, 2 millimeters over 3.5 inches is then easily a centimeter. That's the other one, about the same, 2 millimeters. One thing I noticed though is I think I was drilling with a 14 millimeter. There doesn't seem to be much of a 2 millimeter gap there. Maybe I am drilling with the 12 millimeter. Let's see the side. Yeah, so that's not accurate enough. I think what might be worth trying is creating a jig which I can cap this with it, and then have some depth of a hole in the right place, and then I can start drilling through that jig, and that would keep me on track with then drilling into the rest. So I'd need to print that out. I'd probably create one for each mullion rather than as a group. As for the bonding sections, yeah, a jig for the full thing, or maybe just enough for each side. So that'll be something to print out. An additional check I need to come back to. So that is square with the cell, but whether it's plumb or not, well, it's a different matter. Some of the holes aren't allowing it to be square to the square and the cell, but I'm just not sure what actually plumb is. That's probably where a laser will come in handy, or plumb line. I'm going to get a plumb line up there. I suppose I don't need to find actual plumb, just need to make sure that the holes in those is as accurate, and then this would just guide through. But I do need to make sure that when it's in at the bottom, that it's got some tolerance to allow it to be square with the mullions. I mean, I'm not going to have the mullions installed square to any sloping cell, they'll be plumb. So I just need to ensure the mullions are plumb, and the hole for this will just go through. Need to make sure that there's some allowance at the bottom. I think that's what I need to do with that. I just need to concentrate on drilling the holes in the mullions as straight as possible. Let's have a look at some slopes. That's 11 degrees. Two. It's quite substantial, isn't it? One. Two. Intolerance. According to spirit level, that is flat. So 2 out by 2. I should calibrate my spirit level well. This angle thing. Right, so that should be accurate now. 13. Oh look, that's better. That's what it should be. Horizontal. Yeah, even though that was quite flat there. Yeah. Okay, yeah, so needed to calibrate that to match the spirit level. Assuming that is correct, I mean I have cleared the bottom and it's flat now because I've got a spacer on there, 0.5. And it's getting late again at that time of year. Things to do. So I'll design a jig for the mullions that I'm going to use to create the straight drill bits. I'm going to test that. I should have my longer drill bits delivered by tomorrow. And then hopefully I'll be able to start installing the bottom sections as soon as maybe Thursday or Friday.